What is love? That's the big one. I want to hear God's answer to that one. I want to hear the answers to how do you actively love someone? How can you tell when someone loves you? How can you love someone without first loving yourself? What does it mean to love yourself? Is love a feeling or an action? It is definitely a verb, as much as jump is a verb. But it's not as distinctive as jump, because love is an action in a hug. Love is an action in washing someone's feet. It's an action in sitting down and listening to someone's day, even when your day is 10 times worse. That's love.
Major support for the Mystery of Love is provided by the Fetzer Institute as part of its campaign for love and forgiveness, transforming individuals and communities. Additional support provided by Southwest Airlines, offering 2,900 daily non-stop flights to 60 destinations coast to coast. The Betsy Gordon Foundation, supporting nonprofit organizations working for the benefit of humanity. And by contributions to your PBS station from viewers like you. Thank you.
Every life is a love story, or contains one, for better and for worse. Part biography, and part a work of the imagination. It can be a comedy that ends with living happily ever after, or a tragedy ending in death. In popular culture, one type of love, passionate sexual romance, is prized above all.
I never knew it could be like this. Nobody ever kissed me the way you do.
But there are many kinds of love that give shape and meaning to life. Passionate connections that define what we value as human beings. Most of all, love is a question, with libraries filled with answers. Still, love remains a mystery that eludes understanding. In a world that seems headed toward mass self-destruction, we need to explore the force that holds things together, the positive force of love. We need to expand our definition of love, including love and passion's dark side. We need to recognize and honor equally the many loves that help create a healthy life and society. We need to put love on the public agenda. In this program, we'll see real love stories, different loves, all important, if not equally told or sold in the popular media.
Arthur Koestler said if I could take one man off the hook in the trains going to the concentration camps, if I could just get in there and take one man off the hook, I would have done what I need to do as a human being. Is that the ultimate act of love, saving one life? I don't know.
I think people don't feel that they have permission to talk about something that makes them as vulnerable as love, so we don't usually talk about it in public. I once had the idea of having a red bench in every corporation, and the red bench would be an invitation to conversations that matter. So if you sat on the red bench, you were saying, I'm open to a conversation about love, or a conversation about truth, or something that matters to me.
Sometimes the red bench of love and truth is on an airplane. Meet Emily Lodine and Gary Overgaard of Minnesota.
I guess when I went on this trip, I definitely didn't intend on looking for a wife, but it's just the way things happened. I had bought a new farm sprayer from Denmark, and part of the deal was got a free trip to go to Denmark to see the sprayers manufactured over there. So myself and the dealer went together, and Emily boarded the plane in Chicago, and it just happened that she ended up sitting by me. She told me she was an opera singer. Of course, then she asked me what I did, and I told her I was a farmer.
He, all 6 feet, 5 of him, whatever it is, he was bunched into the little middle section, and his friend was on the window seat, and I was on the aisle, and we introduced each other, and I thought, this guy's really sort of cute.
When she told me she was an opera singer, I leaned over to my buddy to the left of me, who was sitting by the aisle, or the window seat, and I said, I think this is going to be a long, boring flight, because I said, this gal's an opera singer. I figured we wouldn't have much to talk about.
And then it's, what do you do, and what do you do? And we got talking, and we talked the whole trip, and I think it's at least 7.5 hours. And we were smitten after 7.5 hours.
It felt like it was like only 2 minutes, because time flew. I know that, so.
He's a former bachelor Norwegian farmer, and they tend to be bashful. And you have to chase them until they catch you, if you know what I mean.
I didn't think maybe nothing would ever happen about this, because I thought maybe it was too far of a long-distance relationship anyway. But when I had got home, she had already left a message on my answering service, so she had contacted me first, and then, so I called her back, and then we just kind of gradually kept corresponding, and one thing led to another, and then, I guess, bingo, we ended up getting married.
When I first told my best friends I was moving to Minnesota, I was marrying a farmer, I was going to just change my whole life, they were, what's the right word, flummoxed, bewildered, horrified. They couldn't believe I was giving up everything and going out there. And I sort of, I'd have an occasional doubt and say, do I really? Is this really what I want to do? The first time I came out in beautiful weather, grass was green, and I remember walking outside and saying, oh my gosh, this is so gorgeous out here in Mother Nature. And I thought of Julie Andrews in The Sound of Music, and she's up on top of the mountain, and she's got her dirndl skirt on and her little prim haircut, and she's just twirling around and singing, the hills are alive with the sound of music, that we all know that bit. And lo and behold, behind me is a voice. He says, what are you doing? I said, well, I'm just enjoying the space. It's so sumptuously beautiful out here. And he said, don't do that. It scares the pigs and it takes weight off of them. So I thought immediately, I guess I better listen to what the farmer says. So I have stopped doing these outdoor impromptu performances. I sing in the house. The hogs get to make their noise outside of the house, and never the twain shall meet.
It's a strong odor, I guess. I don't know how else you want to describe it. If you're not used to a pig smell, it's different, but you don't want to be in here too long because it gets in your clothes after a while. If you want to be a farmer, you got to love it or you got to leave it. You're out here in the country. As you can see, it's wide open spaces. You kind of see what you're doing. You get a little baby pig in, and you get to watch that pig grow all the way up, and then you get to take it to market. Plant the crop, it comes up, turns green, and in the fall you harvest the crop and get the grain out.
My mother was actually rather upset in the beginning. She said, you're giving up everything. You've worked so hard to make a career in Chicago. And I see her point because she's a mom. I think my passion about singing has deepened because I took a lot of it for granted in Chicago, and I would get, pickup jobs, weddings and funerals.